Welcome back. Time now to look at the papers. And Dr. Ambrose Igboke, media consultant and chairman, Guild of Public Affairs Analyst of Nigeria, Enugu chapter, joins us now. He joins us virtually from Enugu State. Dr. Igboke, good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Now let's start with the way we started on the program and with New Telegraph. Look at this. Nigeria's inflation rate drops to 18%, lowest since 2022. And there's an insight there. Highest in Ekiti, Rivers, Nasarawa, lowest in Bauchi, Niger, and Enugu. Details, of course, are on the inside pages 3 and 28. But Mr. Igboke, we asked an important question earlier on, as you also react to the general story about inflation dropping. What's inflation like in your pocket?
The inflation in my pocket has not reduced, though. And definitely, if it has reduced, it is not the rate they are talking about. For example, I know that a full bag of rice has fallen from, let's say, 70,000 to like 60,000 in my area. That is the local rice. So when you compare that, it's not the same figure, what is being bandied around for the statistics from the federal government. I will also want to look at, as a scholar myself, I'm looking at some things. One, if inflation has gone viral to like 300 to 400% in the last 2 years, and then you get maybe a 20% reduction in the inflation that you have taken up to 300%. What it means is that I am not calculating it the way you're calculating it, mere numbers. I am calculating it pre-inflationary rise of 2021, 2022, before the 2023 removal of fuel subsidy, removal of electricity subsidy, removal of increase in data and calls from the telecoms, and so many things that have gone up since then. So for me, the adjustments and the celebration should be, how do we go back to the pre-2023 era before May 29, 2023? That is where I will not tell you if there's a reduction from the rate we were then I will agree with Nigeria Bureau of Statistics or the CBN or the Ministry of Finance with this. But you don't take inflation 300, 400%, in some cases 1,000%, and it drops a little, and you tell me to celebrate it. Nigerians want inflation to be at the level it was before May 29, 2023. Anything outside that is a mere academic exercise.
Interesting. Well, we'll see how that plays out, particularly how the numbers turn out subsequently. But there are other stories from the front page of New Telegraph as well this morning. I wonder if we have time to take that, or we should just go straight to the next paper. Let's go to This Nigeria this morning. This Nigeria newspaper takes a deep dive into the politics, particularly of the last 24 hours. Diri digs PDP grave deeper. That's it. Diri digs PDP grave deeper, heads for ruling party. But the governor didn't say his destination. He didn't disclose his destination yesterday. But This Nigeria is sort of, giving a hint as to where he's headed. But there are also some riders there. Those who criticize me are now in APC. Wike throws jab. Bayelsa governor is on his second term. Why is he decamping? Dr. Igboke, why is he decamping?
Well, for us outside political arena, we look some of the things straight jacketed. But for those who are in the political players, they have their own matrix for assessment of their political future. Even Senator Hiraki Dixon, former governor of Bayelsa, was wondering why a second term governor is defecting. But you don't know the political calculations. We don't know the concessions that he was being given. We don't know the agreements that the ruling Progressive Congress is giving to him. And again, the PDP has become too much of a hot seat for anybody to just sit idle and wait for his fate, because Most of the governors are no longer in control of what's happening in the party. The party has been, desecrated, basically dismantled. What we use in the financial sector, asset stripping. I think that is what is also happened to PDP, because the Damango-led executive at the national level, I think he's also intent on, dismantling PDP. Because how else will you explain the fact that you are allowing your governors, who are the party leaders in the sub-regional, to be, going away, and there's nothing you're doing about it? You just issue press conference. Instead of you even having a reconciliatory tone, you are even, sometimes smearing at them and laughing at them, mocking at them. So it's either the national chairman of PDP is bent on burying the party, or somebody should give me another explanation. Under a full year now, we are witnessing Decamping in we have witnessed Delta, we have witnessed Akwa Ibom, we have witnessed Enugu, we are talking about Taraba, we are talking about Bayelsa. How can you lose 5 governors in a year and we are still counting? And that means the party itself is on the road to perdition, because that is the only way I can explain it. And most politicians will not just sit down in a place where they don't take decisions or where they are not part of the consultations before. You just hear things in the national television or newspaper as anybody else. So maybe that is also part of it, even though he's a second-term governor. But what kind of influence does he wield, both at the national level of the PDP and at his state? The National Working Committee or the executive doing things behind his back in his state. So these are the things that inform some of those things. Because for a politician, it's about self-perpetuation and preservation. And once that is not gotten, of course, he moves to a better place for himself or herself.
I thought it was going to be moving for the people. But again, they always find a way to say the people said, agreed, and all of that. But the Vanguard newspaper...
The people have voted them in, so they are representing the people.
Very interesting angle there. But Vanguard newspaper leads also with Obi Dixon ADC, rail against spate of defections to APC. Nobody can capture Southeast with defections, says Peter Obi. Tinubu's one-party state unfolding, ADC. I remain firmly with PDP Dixon, and 3 more PDP governors will resign soon. Fayose. I want to speak to, or I want you to speak to Mr. Peter Obi's comments. Clearly, his Southeast votes are being threatened right now. You're speaking from Enugu. You saw what played out some days ago with Governor Peter Mbah. So there is really no PDP governor in the Southeast anymore. One Labour Party governor, ABGA, the rest APC. So just how threatened do you think Mr. Peter Obi feels right now?
Well, what's propelled Peter Obi in 2023 to national consciousness is the obedience movement, which was a conglomeration of supporters from different political parties. And, after that obedience movement, after the elections have been decided, we could say fragmentation of that movement, and some of them dissolved into their party. Remember that obedience said that they were just supporting Peter Obi, and when it became time for the state governors election, they all supported their party. And the obedience movement, as you said, suffered serious consequences after that. So they are not as strong as it was in 2023, and that is going to really affect the outcomes. Then also, talking about the person of Mr. Peter Obi, whom I have a lot of respect for, but he's not in a position to, catechize or lecture people about moving from one political party to another, because his own trajectory also supports that movement. From ABGA, he went to PDP. When PDP was not a comfortable place, just like what they are doing now, when it was a turn of the PDP to give the presidential secret to the Southeast, and Peter Obi was positioned for that, they denied him of it, and he had to leave to a Labour Party. So we now found out that it is where the platform that gives you the opportunity to actualize your vision, your political vision, that you move to. Hence, Peter Obi has been in the 3 political parties since he came into politics sometime in 2005, 2006. So you can see that it's a culture. And then when one politician starts saying, why are you defecting? It's only the only person I know that can make that kind of statement is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who even when I was living in Lagos, we knew him from 1998. He has been AD. They just changed political names of the party to ACN, and then he joined others to form another political party called the APC. So he's the only, national politician that can really come out to, lecture people about how not to decamp. Most others have really left and, sought greener pastures from outside the political party that bested their political movement.
Oh, interesting analysis there. But maybe the FCT minister will also want to beat his chest and say, I've stayed with the PDP, except that he's working with the APC. In fact, Mr. Peter Obi, some may want to add the ADC as well, because he's also fraternizing with the ADC. But very interesting times we're in with the political landscape. But that's a big story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper today.
And The Guardian is next. You talked about, Mr. Peter Obi. There's quite a lot as far as Mr. Peter Obi is concerned that is being reported on the front page of The Guardian. But not just him, but also other political actors, as you would see. Look at the headlines. Obi, Atiku's 2027 bids wobble as defections, internal strife rock LP PDP. There's something else that is just at the bottom of the big pictures on the front page of The Guardian. Wike mocks defectors as Diri dumps PDP with 21 Bayelsa lawmakers. So there are two issues that you'll be speaking to there. The chances of the big political actors who want to go up against President Bola Tinubu in 2027. And of course, Mr. Wike, how much paradox do you see in what he said yesterday when he declared that those who were criticizing him for destabilizing the party are now moving over to the party, to the ruling All Progressives Congress, and as such, you should be thanking him for a job well done. Dr. Igboke.
I think it's a conceited language in self-adulation for Wike to say that. I would believe that the men who moved have more balls than he does, because he has not made an official movement to APC yet. He's doing the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. And so that is not the way to act as a man. So when you talk of men who have moved, there are men who have conviction and said, okay, we are leaving this party. Instead of staying within the party and doing anti-party activities, this man said, okay, we are moving. And so we give kudos to the governors or men who moved. And so that is the hallmark of decisiveness. You don't stay in one political party and you're working for another and you're causing confusion in the political party and claiming that you're a member of the party. So for those he's mocking, they are far better than he is in this aspect we are talking about. So he should rather mock himself for being ambivalent. He doesn't know where he belongs. But for the men like Peter Mba, for Emmanuel Eno, for Governor Oriri, and some other people who made the effort to move, that is a hallmark of decisiveness. So we should give them kudos rather than this paradox that Wike is trying to paint. He should move if he has conviction like those men. Then when it comes to 2027 and other political leaders in other parties, jittery, they have to be jittery, because in the history of Nigeria politics, this kind of movements have not really happened, where just 2 years. So in fact, we are talking about National Assembly. If National Assembly passes the bill they are trying to pass and it works, election may be next year. So just a year or so to elections, and people are heavyweights. The governors in Nigeria's politics, they are one of the biggest assets to any political movement. And when you have the governor of a state and a political party, that means the state is it will be in that political party. So any president will want a governor to be on his side. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is having governors on his side now and is making that movement happen, then he's going to, of course, have the political currency to outsmart the other candidates. And that is why people like Atiku are jittery, because this is a movement that may eventually knock them out of the political equation. So there should be, and they should talk. Unfortunately, the opposition has not been able to get itself together. There are fragmentations within and even between them. And that is why the ruling party is coasting away with all this access that's been added to them.
This is while there's a sort of jamboree in the political space. Nigerian students in the public universities are at home, and that's one of the stories on the front page of Leadership newspaper. Yes, it speaks to the inflation stories, also speaks to the resignation of Governor Douye Diri. But Leadership also includes strike. Students give lecturers, government 7 days to resolve dispute. It's just at the top right corner of the front page of a Leadership newspaper. As they say on the street, like play, this strike don't enter 4 days now. And it looks like there's a lot of silence to that. And that really speaks volumes, Dr. Bokeh, doesn't it?
Well, I'm happy that it's just a warning strike of 2 weeks. That is not a permanent strike that we drag consistently. But this, prevalence of strike coming on and on, it's supposed something to be, done and dusted with. I don't think the federal government should be flexing muscles or should be trying to intimidate the union. And there are just basic things that the federal government have agreed to. It was also reviewed and agreed. Why not just implement those things? The things they're asking for are not too much. They are, a fraction, a very mini fraction of our budgetary allocation for the government, federal government, even the state government. So why not just, acquiesce to the requests of ASU and, let them be paid well. Imagine that, a professor is earning just like $300. I mean, what does his counterpart out there earn, even in African countries? Go to Kenya. We have a lot of Nigerians studying and teaching in Kenya. Go to South Africa, even Ghana here. They are earning, salaries, people are earning up to $1,500, $2,000, professors. And our professors are earning just $300 or maximum $350. That is not fair. And these are people who have put all their lifeline. These are the intelligentsia of the country, the people who power the disruptive innovations that we're supposed to have for the 20. Nothing wrong with our system.
Right.
If you go to Japan, the primary school teachers are the best paid, but here in Nigeria, the teachers are the worst paid. There's something definitely wrong with our development agenda, and we need to relook at that and see, evaluate it, and make sure that these ASU people don't go to strike again by acquiescing to their.
Right, seem to have lost connection there with Dr. Bokeh, who's just speaking about the strike. Okay, you can land on your thoughts, Dr. Bokeh.
No, I was saying that in Japan, the highest paid people are the teachers. But in Nigeria, the least paid people are the teachers. And when we continue with this kind of attitude, that means our foundation for innovation, our foundation for getting a better future of this country, for creativity, will be lost. Because the teachers, we are losing a lot of our intelligentsia, and it should worry.
All right. I think that's a great place to
so federal government should
there.
just agree to what the ASU people.
Right. I must say that even there's some sort of complaints, I should say, about the wages in Japan for the teachers. So it's quite interesting that wherever you turn to, yes, teachers, we recognize that they should be well paid because of the role they play, but when it comes to the actual payment, it's not the same. And I must say that you've spoken well for your constituency, Dr. Bokeh, being a lecturer yourself. So I'm sure the constituency is proud of you as what should be done. But on a final note, we must not leave without speaking about what played out in Enugu State, your own state, just right there under your nose, Dr. Bokeh. The governor is now a member of the APC. I know we touched on it earlier, but what is the atmosphere like now? Is Enugu now APC all of a sudden, fully APC after that love affair with PDP that lasted for the longest time?
Well, even the governor in his speech was very, meditative on the fact that, that it's not about gloating or whatever, that he cherished the relationship the state and himself had with the PDP. Remember, he was also a former commissioner around 20 years ago in the PDP government of Chimaroke Namani. He was also a chief of staff. So he has a very long relationship with PDP. Some people just thought that it was this governorship election that made him a relation that he started. No, he didn't. He had a long. So it's a time for Enugu people. It's a time of sober reflection for the APC member of assets, and then I was joking with somebody yesterday, and he was saying that I hope people will not be in APC meeting and I'll start shouting PDP, and we had a good laugh. But it is because PDP has been entrenched for long, in Enugu State, so it will take some time to sink in. It will take a long period. It will not be short, but I do recommend that the state government should pour in seriously into advocacy visits down to the grassroots, so that the people can understand that they have left the umbrella and they are now waving the brooms.
Very interesting line there. They have left the umbrella and they're now holding the brooms. We have to thank you so much for your time. As always, we've been speaking with Dr. Ambrose Igboke, Media Consultant Chairman, Guild of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria, Enugu chapter. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Well, you can guess where we're starting off from this morning. The concerns about a one-party state. We hear that the projections are that before 2027, the APC will have at least 30 governors. So where does that leave opposition, having a robust democracy? We'll have an intellectual joining us next on the program. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.